Hello everybody, welcome to Adonics. Today we will be discussing about Spring and Maven integration. As I have discussed in our previous discussion that Maven is one of the most popular automatic build tool, and there is another build tool called Gradle. We'll be also talking about that Gradle in our next session. So Maven can be integrated with a Spring framework. As you know, Spring is a proper J2E framework. There are basically two options by which we can integrate Maven with Spring. The first option is downloading Maven binaries from the Maven Apache website, as I have mentioned in the slide. Here you just need to download the zip bundles or the tar files and then unzip it into a particular folder and then mention the path to the path system variable. And then you can test whether Maven is working properly or not from the command prompt by using a command maven -bastion mv and -bastion, and if it shows you the details of Maven along with the JDK version, then you can understand that your Maven has been installed properly. The second option is installing the Maven plugin from the Eclipse IDE. Here you just need to open your IDE, just click on to go help, then install new software. Once you click on install new software, it will open a search window. There you can just mention the URL. It will fetch the releases available in the marketplace. Now select the particular release which is compatible with your IDE and then accept the license, install it. So once the installation is complete, just restart your IDE to make sure that your plugin works properly. So in our discussion, we'll be taking a look at both of the options and doing some hands-on configuration and coding. So let's start by downloading the binaries from the Apache website. So this is the first website where you can download any Maven version. I have just opened version 3.3.9. So you can select any version compatible with your JDK. So the versions can be downloaded as a zip file, the versions can be downloaded as a tar file. But here you just need to understand there are three important points, three important system requirements. The first one is the JDK requirement, where for 3.3 version, as you have seen, you just need a version of JDK 1.7 or above to execute. If you have a version lower than 1.7, then you need to check which particular Maven version is compatible with your JDK. In my case, I have JDK 1.3, so I have downloaded Maven version 3.0.3, and this is compatible with my JDK version. So you need to check it with your system. For memory, there is no minimum requirement. For the disk space, you need to have at least 10 MB for the installation part. And apart from this 10 MB, you need another 500 MB extra space for your project repositories. For OS also, we do not have any specific requirement. So once you download the zip file, keep it in a particular folder, as I have kept it in a software download. Then Maven folder. Within Maven, I have 3.0.3. This is the main directory. And just add this particular path into your path system variable. Click on My Computer, right click on it, click on Properties. Now here you will have Advanced System Settings. Click on it. It will show you some options where you can check environment variables. Now check the system variables. You will get a path variable. Click on edit. Just copy it, paste it on a notepad. So here is the path to my Maven installation, Maven directory, till the bin folder. You just also need to add this path wherever you have kept in your system. Now that's it for external installation of Maven. Once this installation is complete, just open the command prompt and type mv and -version. It will show you the versions installed into your system along with the JDK version which is compatible. Just wait for some time. It will show the version that I have just mentioned. I have 3.0.3 and I have a JDK version 1.6.0. So this particular version is compatible with this JDK version. That's why it's working properly. So once you get this message, then your installation is perfectly okay. You can start working with it. Now just exit from this command prompt. So that's it for external download of a zip file, and then uninstalling, unzipping that particular zip file into a particular folder, adding it into a path location, and then test it. This is another repository which I have just mentioned for your quick reference. Here you will have all the versions mentioned. So you can select any particular version based on your JDK installation. This is actually the archival from which you can download the lower versions available in the market and then work with Maven. So that's it for a binary download. Now we will talk about the next option where we are going to install Eclipse Maven plugin for Eclipse. So let's open the IDE. Here I have Eclipse version Indigo. Just click on Help. Now click on Install New Software. Here you just need to mention the path from which you want to install the Maven plugin. I have installed 1.3.0, so let's try this one. Now just wait for some time. Here you will see all the versions available, all the releases available. Now just uncheck this particular show only the latest versions checkbox. Once you uncheck it, it will show all the versions. Now you can select any particular version, click on next, accept the license, and the particular installation plugin will be installed automatically. But here you just need to keep one point in mind, that what particular version is suitable with your Eclipse IDE version. As I have Eclipse IDE Indigo version, I have installed 1.3.0. If you have a different version of the Eclipse, then you need to check what particular plugin version is suitable for your installation. So there is one point, how do you understand with that particular version is not compatible? So either you can search it with the compatibility from the website, or if you select some other versions here, like not 1.3, if you select 1.4, 1.5 or 1. Something, and click on next, it will show you some jars are missing, some packages are missing, or some files are missing. That means that particular release or that particular plugin version doesn't have all the compatibility with your current Eclipse version. So that's the indication. So these practical tips will help you to understand which particular Maven version you can work with and compatible with your IDE, and just get the solution easily, and that will make your configuration and help to make your configuration easier, and it will help you to make the system ready to develop your project quickly. So this is some practical experience, practical guidance which I have faced during installation, and I am sharing with you. There are some other packages also, as you have seen that this is SLF4J packages that are available, which are optional, but sometimes you need these packages along with your Eclipse Maven plugin. So you just need to check which particular version is compatible with your IDE, which particular version you want to check, and which particular version you want to keep with your IDE. So once that installation is complete, just go to File, click on New, and click on Other. It will show you an option called Maven here. Now your Maven is installed successfully because you are getting all the options to create a project. Now create or click on Maven project, click on Next. It will show you some options. Here, create a simple project. Just click on this thing and now click on Next. Just a minute, let me check. No, you don't need to mention here anything here. Just click on Next. Here are the 3 important points you need to understand. This is a group ID. This group ID is very important because it identifies a Maven project within the project group. So you can say that this particular group ID is a unique ID into your Maven project repository. So a Maven will understand this particular group ID is specific to a particular project and build it accordingly. This artifact ID is also important. This is basically the name of the jar file without a version. So other things are optional. You don't need to keep other things mandatory or put it here. You just escape all these things. Now, as I have already created one Maven project here, I am not putting it here. Just canceling this thing. So now let's check two important things here, which I have just mentioned. One is the group ID and another is the artifact ID. Now here I have created a Maven project. So once you create a Maven project, this particular project structure will be automatically created, like Maven dependencies, source files. You need to create application context.xml, but this particular file form.xml will be automatically there. Now let's check what is form.xml. In form.xml, these are the two important things which I have just mentioned. One is the group ID. Here this is the unique ID, which I have mentioned as com.avionics.mavenproj. So this is a particular ID uniquely defined within Maven repository to identify Maven test project. Right? So you can create multiple projects as Maven projects, but for each project you should have a unique group ID. I have mentioned artifact ID as Maven test. So this is the name of the jar file without the version. Now I have mentioned the dependencies here. The first is of the Spring core, the second is the Spring context, and the third is a property where I have mentioned the particular version of Spring which I am using. Here we are using 4.3.0. And all the dependencies of Spring are already mentioned here. It's automatically come under Maven dependencies. So this is the interest project structure. The other important file is application context.xml. So here you just need to mention a component scan where you will be having all the bins. As I have mentioned, my package name is com.avionics.mavenproj. So it will scan all the bins under this particular package. Now this is a sample bin I have mentioned for our understanding. So here I have mentioned the class name hello world service class, which you can just create anywhere here as your Java file, and then you can create bins here to understand how it works. So once your project is complete, these two files are mandatory. Now you just keep on adding bins or other properties files, dependencies as per your need. So once the file is complete, once you have the project complete, you can run this Maven project as a standalone application. And it will just build all the class paths, all the sources, all the repositories, everything. Now see, these things are blank here at this moment. But once you create all the files, the bin files, you will see that these particular files, these particular sources are automatically filled up by the output. So this is a structure which we'll be using in your example when we'll be creating Spring projects with Maven. But for the time being, we will keep our project simple. So in this session, we have discussed two options by which we can create a Maven project, project with a Spring framework. The integration part is, the configuration part consists of two things. So one is the kind of binaries download, and the second is the plugin installation, Maven plugin installation. But you just need to understand that in both options, the underlying package or the underlying binaries or underlying software is the same, which is the Maven software. The core package is same. One comes as a plugin, which we are installing here in our Eclipse IDE, and the other one comes as a binary package from this website. You can download and then you can unzip it and put it into your path system variable, but in both the way it will work properly. So here we come to the end of this session where we have discussed the configuration of Maven with Spring framework. But the two important points you need to understand. The first point is for a binaries, you need to understand that your particular JDK version should be compatible with the version you are downloading. As I have downloaded here the version 3.0.3 and I have JDK version 1.5. For the Eclipse plugin, you need to understand, or you need to just check which particular plugin is suitable for your Eclipse IDE. Here I have Eclipse IDE Indigo, so I have installed 1.3.0 version, as I have just mentioned here. 1.3.0, I have, this is the Indigo service pack, so I have an Indigo version installed. I have chosen the particular plugin accordingly. So if you keep these points in mind, your configuration will be easier and you will be ready to start your project. Thank you.